The real estate market is not done rising. That's what we're going to cover in this monthly market report. This is for you if you are a real estate agent, a financial advisor, or an attorney interested in market data to help you advise a client, or perhaps you are that potential buyer or seller looking for some direction. I'm Paulo Rodriguez. I've been a mortgage professional since 2005, and here is the market data that you need to make an informed buying or selling decision, or help your client do the same. To say that the real estate market is not done rising seems to be a pretty bold statement, especially under current conditions if you consider that the number of home sales is way down. Across the country, we're down 16.6%. The Northeast, Midwest, South, and West are all down double digits. Now, there are two factors driving current sales activity down, according to the chief economist at the National Association of Realtors, and that's the fact that there are not enough houses on the market and mortgage rates. Unfortunately, both have been unfavorable to buyers, and we can also argue they're unfavorable to some sellers who would become buyers because, after all, sellers who are sitting on a 3% mortgage don't want to give that up and buy a house with a 7% mortgage. And while that certainly hasn't helped our inventory situation, inventory was a challenge long before rates jumped up. As a matter of fact, if we take a look at the average annual inventory of homes for sale from the National Association of Realtors, going all the way back to 1999, and considering that 6 months is a normal inventory level which characterizes a balanced market, we just don't have enough homes that are available to trade. We're nowhere near a balanced market. If I were a realtor going after a listing, I would make sure that my prospect seller understands they're in prime position right now to put the house on the market and get the best price with the least number of contingencies, because there's still a very strong buyer demand and there's not enough houses to sell. And one of the reasons for that is the number of new homes completed. Take a look at this data from the United States Census. We can see that for 14 straight years, up until this year, we have been below the 52-year average for new construction homes. Builders got hurt during the crash, and they've been very slow to ramp back up. For the past 14 years, we've literally built fewer homes than we did in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, despite having an ever-growing population. When you look at it that way, of course we have an inventory shortage. And just take a look at how this manifests in home prices. This is the change in home values as a percentage from Case-Shiller, the Federal Housing Finance Agency, and CoreLogic. And what it shows is that prices since February are reflecting appreciation. Yes, we had a correction in the second half of last year, which was all because of interest rate sticker shock, but that sticker shock has worn off because home values are once again appreciating despite rates not being any lower. And in case Case-Shiller, the Federal Housing Finance Agency, and CoreLogic are not enough to convince you, here is the same data from Zillow, Black Knight, and Freddie Mac showing exactly the same thing. So what's ahead for home prices? Let's take a look at the Home Price Expectation Survey from Pulsenomics. This survey is from a nationwide panel of 100 economists, real estate experts, and investment and market strategists. This is what they think is going to happen with prices going forward. Clearly, very healthy and sustainable appreciation is expected. Now, you might be asking yourself, why the dip in 2024? Well, keep in mind that these numbers are revised all the time as data becomes more current. It's likely that 2024 will be revised up once more data is available. And speaking of projections being revised, just take a look at this table from USA Today showing what some very reputable institutions thought at the end of last year was going to happen to home prices in 2023 versus what they are now currently projecting. They all got it wrong. All of them said there would be depreciation, and now every single one is backpedaling and revising their forecast. And if you've been watching my monthly videos, you know that I was one of the few voices taking a position and saying that prices would still rise in 2023. And it's not because I'm some kind of a genius. On the contrary, it's the geniuses at these institutions and on TV that are overcomplicating the matter while overlooking what is in fact very, very simple. This is all about supply and demand. There's just not enough homes to meet demand. And the fact that would-be sellers are not selling today because their current interest rate is low is not helping. But this issue will take care of itself over time. Here's some data from the Federal Housing Finance Agency showing that over 70% of people that have a mortgage have an interest rate less than 4%. It's easy to see why they're not moving. They're afraid to give that up. And as a matter of fact, let's put that into a pie chart and label each tranche. If you're below 3%, you're not selling. If you're between 3 and 4%, you're probably not selling. If you have between 4 and 5%, you'll have to think hard before selling. And if you're between 5 and 6%, you're probably going to sell since there's not that much of a difference. And obviously, if you're over 6%, you would be willing to sell if the need arose. Now, that doesn't mean that the people in the red areas are not selling. Under current market conditions, between 4 and 5 million homes will sell this year. And if you take out weekends and federal holidays, there are only approximately 250 working days per year during which these transactions can close. So that means that we sell 18,000 houses per working day in this country. We sold 18,000 houses yesterday, we'll sell 18,000 houses today, and we'll sell, on average, 18,000 houses tomorrow, assuming those are working days. People still have to move. Divorce happens. Relocations happen. Kids happen. Life happens. But it's not all bad for those that must sell in the current environment, because the other side to this is that the level of equity we're sitting on has never been higher. Here is some data from the United States Census, the Federal Home Finance Agency, and Atom Data. What you can take away from this is that 68.7% of homeowners, that's more than 2/3, have at least 50% equity in their homes. 38.7%, the dark green, those are the people who own their home free and clear. 30% of Americans that have a mortgage have more than 50% equity. Then we go to 20.8%, have between 30 and 50% equity. 8.6% have between 10 and 30% equity. And the people that have less than 10% equity are down to just 1.72%. The average equity in the country right now, according to CoreLogic, is a whopping $294,000. For those of you that are in the real estate depreciation camp, we need distressed sales to make that happen. But how do you get short sales and foreclosures with so much equity in the market? The answer is you don't. So in closing, I know that many of you have come across someone who believes the market is overvalued. But the fact that home values have risen as much as they have since the pandemic is not a reason in and of itself for homes to reverse course and depreciate. As I've already stated, this is about supply and demand. And the market is not done rising because of supply constraints. That doesn't mean we're going to have runaway appreciation like we did after the pandemic. It just means that the market is not done rising. Clients who believe otherwise will remain uninformed to their own detriment unless they are presented with the facts, and the responsibility rests on us, real estate professionals, to bring this information to them so that they can make informed decisions that are best for them and their families. That's a wrap for the October market report. I appreciate you listening in. Forward, subscribe, share. I'll be back next month. But before you go, if you're looking to purchase or refinance, or know someone that is, and would like a no-cost consultation with me personally, feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to analyze if your debt is structured in the most optimal way or if there's room for improvement. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.